Oh, I like your dark.
Thank you. Okay. We got all the tech working, I think. This is my friend, Cindee. We are totally off the cuff. This is Conquering Chaos podcast. And
Can we ever really conquer it then?
I'm just saying, not life's chaos. You can't.
No,
That's
no.
for sure.
No.
And maybe not all of it.
Just ring it in.
Yeah.
Get it in the go in the box.
And this is why I love her so much, is she is hilarious. But you have to be that way in life.
Oh, 100%.
I've learned that. I've learned that a lot over the past couple of years. You have to find laughter and the funny and everything.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it gets too heavy.
Yeah. It's heavy. So I know we have like a list of things to talk about, and this is totally off the cuff, candid conversations.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I like it. I like it to be real, not like, I mean, I have notes, but it's not scripted. It's just totally real. So wherever you want to start, do you want to start at the top?
Well, we were talking earlier about
behind the scenes,
right? We were talking earlier about how it's hard to understand that we can't control it. Because even as a child, that's where we start. Mm-hmm. You know, we start off, we want to control everything.
Yeah.
And it took me 35 years to understand I couldn't control it.
Right. Can't we control anything? Maybe our own selves.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier, is I kind of have a life's mantra of I can control nothing except for myself, my reaction. No, my action. How do you say it? I can only control my actions and my reactions. And I can't control anyone's actions or anyone else's reactions to what I do. And I think that's changed my entire life. And I kind of adopted that after I quit working. I quit working after my dad passed away. I was pregnant, first birth, and my dad passed away, and like my whole perspective on life changed. You know, some people say, "Oh, this person's my soulmate," and you know, their love, and
right.
I don't think it has to be that way. My dad was my soulmate.
Yeah,
he's the only person on earth who's ever understood me.
Yeah,
ever. And to not have that and feel so misunderstood, not unloved.
Yeah,
because I feel love. I mean, my mom and I are very close. I love her to death, but they were very different.
No one could quite understand you like to the depths.
The depth could. Yeah. Right. Yeah. The love, the just understand. I mean, trust me, get us in a heated discussion, and it was, you would have thought we didn't like each other, you know. But I think it's because we both are the same. Sometimes the same clashes because we're so strongly opinionated.
Yes, my daughter and I were the same in some ways, so yeah, I get that.
But yeah, when I lost that understanding, and then you feel alone, and not by the reason for anyone else. You know, I mean, I had my mom, I had Adam, I had the kids. I was pregnant for the first time, and you know, looking forward to having a baby. Yeah. When all that happens, you know, all at the same time. Right. And I was also teaching kindergarten in I think it was my 14th year teaching. And I ended up having preeclampsia, I think it was. And after my dad had passed, they told me I needed to not come back to work. So my doctor. Okay. So I was told by my doctor probably a week prior that I needed to stop working and stay at home for the rest of my pregnancy. I love working
Yeah.
as a teacher.
Yeah.
It was
who
my
you
life.
are,
It was
yeah.
who I am. And those kids are my kids.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to. So for one reason or another, I never told anyone that the doctor told me that.
Mm.
And then out of the blue, one day, my doctor called and told my principal, and they pulled me out of the room in the middle of the day. Middle of the
'Cause you
day.
weren't listening
I
to
couldn't-
doctor's orders.
I couldn't say goodbye to my kids
Mm.
because they didn't want me to go back in the room at all because liability.
Yeah.
I don't blame them now.
Yeah.
But I was
Aw.
like, I can't go see my kids. I can't say goodbye. You know,
Aw.
and after that, and my dad and being pregnant and starting new, it was like, you know, I talked to Adam and I said, I don't want to miss anything.
Mhm.
Don't want to miss anything.
It's
So-
hard missing things.
So I decided to stay home.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
hard.
Well, and you've had, like, some people are always stay-at-home moms.
Right.
Maybe they don't have to work for any reason, don't want to work, whatever. Some people are working moms, entrepreneurial moms,
Right.
CEO moms of
Right.
a corporation,
Right.
and sometimes you're all of it.
And bless
You
them.
go back.
If they can do it all,
Yeah.
great.
Can we really do it all?
Mm.
Listen, that's another.
That's a whole other.
That's a whole another
shiitake
workshop
show.
I have going on coming up. So I'll have to share
Yeah.
that with you.
Yeah.
But
That's a good question. Can we do it all? You know,
I don't think we should.
I don't think we should. That's
Mm-mm.
why, you know,
Don't should yourself.
yeah, that's true.
So, okay, so your life changed
Mhm.
after your dad died.
100%.
So how did it change? Like,
I did not see anything else being important except for my world, my tiny world, not
Mhm.
my extended world.
Right.
You know, we tried 6 years to have Jillian.
Now you have other kids, right?
I have 2 stepchildren
Okay.
that were from my husband's first marriage, and wonderful
Yeah.
kids. And we went through quite a bit of growing,
Yeah.
you know, through the years. But
Mhm.
at that point, they were 15 and 16.
Mhm.
And
And so you worked as a teacher through all that.
yeah,
Okay. And then you got pregnant.
I don't know how I did it, by the way.
Yeah.
I have no idea how I did that. I don't know how I taught and we took Jordan to like 6 o'clock swim things.
Mhm.
Then after school she'd swim, and then this one need to go this way.
Right.
This one need to go to a doctor's appointment. I mean, you know, this one needs
Right.
it's-
I know when you're working and you have more than one, you know, and yeah, it is.
the scheduling was. I don't know. I do have, you know, I look back at photos of our big old calendar that I used,
Mhm.
and I'm blown away by it. There's 15 colors on this
Because
thing.
you're like, how
Well,
did that happen?
When we got on a regular schedule of
Right.
them going to their mothers,
Yeah.
it was, this is in pink, this is in blue, this is in purple because you can't, and this is in,
You're
like
speaking
yellow,
my
and-
language.
and it was like 15,000 things all listed on every given day, not even one day gone. And
Not to interrupt, but
No.
so now that you're a seasoned mama,
season, that
mama,
means old.
listen,
I'm
I'm,
just gonna put
I'm
that-
a seasoned mama too.
Old.
So I guess I'm old too. But no, it's a,
Or like what they called when I was pregnant, they were like, you know, you have a geriatric pregnancy, right? I'm like, I'm 35 years old.
you're not
I'm geriatric. Like, oh,
no,
Lord.
yeah.
but
No.
anyways, yes. seasoned.
So yeah, seasoned. There's a seasoned mama because you've been there, done that. You know,
yeah.
the other two. So now, after seeing all those colors on there, and I have a colorful calendar too. I love
Mhm.
that each person has a color.
Yep.
But now, do you see? Because I this is how I like to keep mine. Don't need all that. Like as far as I mean, not need all that. It's good to keep them in activities and
Right.
doing, but you can also say no to some things.
I do
Yes.
when I didn't.
Right.
And there's a lot less on. I mean,
Yeah.
there's still color. It's
Still
color coordinated.
Yes,
still color
Same
coordinated.
here, yeah.
But But yeah,
But you've learned that you can say
I
no
can say
and
no.
bow out gracefully to
Yes.
things. Like I know sometimes, and maybe people don't like me for it, but I've also in my 40s have come to, I don't care what other people think
100%.
of me or how I live or any of that. Not
Took
that
a
I
long-
don't
took a
love
long time to
people,
get there,
but
though.
yeah, it took a long time. But like, if you've already said yes to something and that day comes about and you're like really not
Yeah.
feeling it or
Oh, I
dreading
can-
it, you can bow
Yeah,
out
you can
gracefully. It's
totally-
okay.
Yep.
Yep. And you
I
teach
think
your
that
kids
comes.
that
I think
too.
that comes with age.
Yeah. Yeah.
The seasoning. It's the adobo. The adobo lets me say no. But I think you're right. I think it's. Honestly, I think once I passed like 40,
Mhm.
I think once I passed 40, I was like, I don't care. You like me or not. Because that's your choice.
Yeah.
Going back to my mom,
Yeah.
I can't control if you like me.
No.
I am who I am.
And you gotta be.
I used to be sidebar 90-degree angle. I used to be a chameleon.
I thought you were gonna say comedian. I'm like,
Right?
I can totally see that. It's like your soulmate career.
Right? Well, Adam told me that actually 2 days ago. He goes, "You need to go try stand up."
Yes, they have a new place in town. You should go
Do
try it
they?
out.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Oh my gosh.
I have
to.
1,000 different voices that come out. Like if I get nervous, like weird voices come out, and I'm like, yeah. Anyways, so I used to be a chameleon person.
Yeah.
Where if I wanted to do this, I would turn into that. If I wanted to do this, I would turn into that. If I was dating this
Oh,
person,
yeah, you would morph
And-
into like what they.
yes,
Kind of like if you're dating a surfer, you're gonna be a surfer.
Oh,
If you're
yeah.
dating a skater,
Yeah,
a skater, or
totally.
a grunge
Oh,
guy,
yeah.
or yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was, I literally have gone from pop princess to, when I was young,
Mhm.
and then goth, and
Mhm.
then rocker,
I
and
think
then
that is a lot though, like, because some guys do that too,
you think
but not as many as women, girls.
they don't know that
girls.
they do that.
But like, I feel like it's more us doing it, but I've known a couple of guys, so not a whole lot. But like, because you're trying to find yourself.
100%.
You don't know who you are.
Mm-mm.
So you're trying to like, oh, do
Yeah.
I like this?
Yeah.
Let's try what they're doing
Yeah.
over there. It's nice not to have to try what people
No.
are doing anymore.
No, 100%. I think another thing that helped me get past that was teaching, because who am I? What do I do? I'm a teacher. Even when I was a stay-at-home mom, or before that, even, it was before that, I taught Zumba. And I took a lot of my things that I used even teaching kindergarten to teach the Zumba, because, you have to scaffold everything. And I did the same thing with teaching
Yeah.
the dances and whatnot.
Mhm.
And I think it kind of solidified in my heart that it's just what I'm supposed to do.
Teaching is what you're supposed to do. Yeah. And you're more than just a teacher, though.
Am I?
We're all more than just what we do.
That's true.
We do.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah.
First and foremost. Sorry, Adam. I love you, honey.
It's kind of like our kids always kind of come first.
Yeah, it's like the other day Jillian came up, gave me a big squeeze, and I told her, I go, I love you so much. She goes, because she always, she's just she's just like me, big ball of heart.
Oh.
And she runs up to me and she's, I love you so much, Mama. What does she always say? She says, "You're the best. You're the best." Which from an alpha, I said, "You're the best." I was like, pat me on the ass and send me out to work. Ooh, I said that.
That's okay.
But like, good job.
Right. Right.
But she truly means it.
Yeah.
And I'm just hugged her and I said, I love you so much. I love you more than anything else in the world. And I go, because Adam was standing right there, I go, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. I love you so much, but this is different. It's a different love.
It is. And there's all different kinds of love. And let me tell you, until you become a parent, or say this, a mom, or because
I was gonna say, being a mom or a parent doesn't mean that you had to physically
Right,
birth them.
right.
I'll tell you that straight out
Yeah.
the gate.
Right.
You know, I fell in love with Josh and Jordan before
Mhm.
I fell in love with Adam.
Mhm.
And maybe that was just a piece of me that needed to be
Mhm.
filled.
Yeah,
That sounds bad.
not filled, but you know, I know what you mean.
You know,
Yeah,
like it just felt right.
yeah.
But then again, I was teaching kindergarten for how many years? And I would, you know, as a teacher, we spend more time with the kids than
Yeah.
their parents do. If you look
Yeah.
at it on a chart,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
8 hours a day. So I think these past, and this is again, take another 90-degree angle.
Yeah, no, good.
But I think not being a teacher, but having Jillian kind of, this went away, but this filled in.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense? And then now that she's getting more independent,
Mhm.
and I'm still, of course, she'll always be everything.
Yeah.
But that sense of purpose, because the longer you do the mom thing,
Uh-huh.
it makes you think, is this all I can do?
Right.
Like for a long time, I
Right.
thought, oh my, I'm getting dumber by the day. Like I'm
because you're just mommying.
all I'm doing is mommying and cleaning and dishing and
Yeah.
yard work and come back in and do mommy again.
Yeah.
Especially when you breastfeed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was 18 months of pure,
Yep.
you know, I mean, it was the best thing in the world. And I
Yeah.
would never,
Yeah.
ever, I
Same.
was blessed. I was blessed enough to be able to do it.
Right.
A lot of people
Yeah, because
can't.
they can't. some
And I had a lot of
can't,
friends told me, you know,
Yeah.
that they just
Yeah.
couldn't, like they just didn't,
Mhm.
all the
I had to
stars were not aligned.
supplement formula with Nicholas because I couldn't make enough, even though,
Right.
yeah, but then I
feel
breastfed with her too, but yeah.
But you know, you feel like, okay, so now I'm a cow.
Yeah, you do though. You feel that way.
And that's all I do. And you know, your brain almost goes mushy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, the
not that
mom brain. They
Yeah.
say mom brain.
Have you ever seen a placenta?
Mhm.
Really look at it. Because it looks literally like a truck ran over a brain.
Oh,
And my theory is, this is my theory, is this is a little gross. So you might want to just, but when the placenta comes out, it's actually like attached, it's part of your brain that comes
yes.
out.
Oh my gosh.
Because it literally
Yes.
looks like a squish brain. So that's how I felt. And when I decided I needed to go back to work and whatever, I was nervous.
Is that why you decided? Because you wanted to?
Well, that and money,
Well, yeah. That
mean,
too. Money
you know,
makes the world go round.
we cut our income in half when I decided to stay.
Mhm.
And we made it work. I
Mhm.
mean, remember the stories I was telling you about my dad when he would
Yeah.
go and
Yeah.
get people to give him things. Well, when I was staying at home, I would go to estate sales,
Uh-huh.
and people just want to get rid of the crap.
Yeah.
Like because somebody died, you know,
Yeah.
they've been through a death,
Mhm.
then they went through in a sale, and whatever was left over, they're just ready to like
Yeah,
throw it
just
away.
Get rid of it.
Well, here comes Cindee with a truck and trailer.
Nice.
And I would pull up and just put everything.
Right.
I don't care. I
Yeah.
didn't care what it was. Just
Right.
whatever. You want it? Okay. You don't want this. So you don't want this. All free.
Nice. Yep.
Bring it all home. And that's when Josh and Jordan were still at home.
Mhm.
And then there was, you know, Jillian running around, and Adam and Mom, when Adam wasn't working, we would literally sit at the end of the trailer and go through it. Just like I told you, just like 5 minutes ago.
love it.
Yeah. And we would go, I can fix
Like
that.
father, like daughter.
100%. And then my mom and I would work together, and we would take it to the flea market across the street.
Nice.
And that would pay for our food.
Yeah. That's awesome though. You got to be
So.
creative, inventive.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
100%. Plus it gave me something more to do.
Something to do besides having the same same thing. Groundhog Day.
100%.
Everything. Even still though, like
I still feel,
working,
I'm sorry, I still feel
that
like
way.
I'm in Groundhog Day.
Yes, thank you.
You know, I mean, not while I'm at work,
No.
because
But
my
it's the
job,
same thing. Like you get up, I have my coffee and me time in the morning,
Mhm.
and then I have to, oh my gosh, pull the kids out of
Oh,
bed.
yeah.
Like that's the worst part of my whole entire day. And I
Yeah.
hate saying that, but
it
I'm
is,
trying to drag them out of bed to go to
Yep.
school, especially after 2020.
especially
not having
when you hear that I don't want to go.
Yes.
And it's not that they don't like it.
No,
They
they're just
just-
tired.
Yeah.
Like we're tired.
Yeah.
So let's see. I wanted to touch on
Sorry,
no, that's okay. I
we
love,
went on a.
no, this is good, off the cuff. I love it, but I do want to touch
But
on
you
a
couldn't
couple of
have,
things.
you could not have me on here and
No,
expect me to stay.
absolutely not.
I don't stay in one line, one lane.
But
ever.
that's one of the things that I love about you too.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
awesome. But see, I have OCD, right?
Right? You're catching it.
Although after everything that we've all went through 2020,
Oh.
and I have never in my life had anxiety ever. Well, I
Oh.
mean, I've probably had a little bit around certain, like I had test anxiety, like I had little bits of it, but
Which we all do.
the amount of anxiety I have right now, like not right now in this moment, but that I have, I get people now that I totally get it. Like, and the kids that I used to wonder, like, I don't understand. I didn't understand why because old school, we sat at our desk, we sat
Yeah.
still, like, you know, and so as a grown
From
up,
the gate, right out the gate.
yeah, I didn't really understand that. But whenever we were stuck at home and my husband and I did real estate school and I was stuck behind the desk, hence why I don't have a desk chair here anymore. I'm using our kitchen chairs to sit on.
Right.
I can't sit at a desk for a long period of time, anywhere for that matter. I have to be moving or standing. Even at work in the office, like I have to get up and because I just start feeling like my skin's crawling, like I'm coming out of my skin. Anyway, so tell me, I want to touch on these two, actually these last three here that we
Gotcha.
So having pneumonia, when did that fit into your?
Okay, so after the whole stay-at-home with mom. So after deciding to stay at home, after doing the, you know,
like the estate sales.
Yes.
Yep.
And then I was getting Jillian into preschool. So, you know, me being me, I went to places, finally found somewhere where I felt safe. I liked it. The environment was exactly what I wanted. It was small. And they lost, this is the short version. They lost their cleaning person.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
And I was like, I could do it. Money,
Right.
you know,
driving
factor.
Yep.
I could clean all day long at home.
Right. Why not make some
freaking
money?
get paid for it? So, so I started cleaning, and then while I was cleaning, I got talking to, you know, the owners and the people that were related to the owners and all the things and my background and my teaching and my training. And, you know, I would be lead teacher, you know, and always help train new teachers coming in. And I had numerous students come in and, you know, be working with them. And I don't know, we just got into long conversations about things, and they offered me a job as a curriculum director. Wow. Which did not turn out to be the best spot for me because there wasn't enough
interaction.
Back to the C word, control. Yeah, there wasn't enough.
That C word, never mind. Our last conversation.
Yes.
Okay.
But you know, there wasn't enough leeway. Like they knew that they needed more, but they couldn't let go of what they had.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't have enough leeway.
Yeah.
I mean, I filled in all the holes that needed to be filled in, but what I was hired to do, I wasn't really allowed to do. So it was rough. Yeah. But me being who I am, and getting things done that needed to get done, no matter I was not. So I'm standing in the library area, and all of a sudden the whole world just goes, oh, and I go, literally on the ground. I'm glad it was the older kids that were in the library because that I was watching, because I can't imagine what they felt. I mean, I fell to the floor and got back up. You know what the game we play.
Gosh,
I'm fine.
Scary.
I'm fine.
But inside you were like,
inside I'm going, what did I have? Low blood sugar? I mean, the thousand things go through your head. And then of course, get in the car, put Jillian in the car, drive home. I mean, you look back at things and
You're like,
the
what?
heck was
Why did I do
thinking?"
that? Right.
And so I got home and it just got worse.
Wow.
I mean, just I was starting to lose my mind.
Wow.
And so my mom took me to the hospital and I literally did lose my mind. And that was the sepsis. And I found out that I had had pneumonia for a very long time. And then the pneumonia untreated turned into sepsis. And then the sepsis actually affected my heart.
Now, how did you not know you had it? Can you, obviously you can know,
I knew
not know.
I knew something. I knew I may have had a cold,
Okay.
maybe, but I kept going
Uh-huh.
because there was a lot going on. at
Yeah.
work,
Yeah.
You know, and I just kept not paying attention to myself. You know, Jillian and work, and
Yep.
and then going home and
Mhm.
you know being a wife as well.
So you had that, and then your heart. So what
Yeah.
happened?
My heart ended up the sepsis ended up bringing my heart percentage EVF AV. Don't ask. I should have written it down.
That's okay.
Anyways, it functions some
Yeah.
sort of atrial ventricle function,
Uh-huh.
maybe. ATV? No, just kidding. I'm kidding. Down to 27%. Normal people walk around between I think 60 and
Oh my goodness.
60 and 50%.
Okay.
Now you don't want it to be too high,
Right, but you don't want it.
but you don't want it to be too low either, because if it's too high, your heart's
Right.
contracting like this.
Yeah.
But when it's low, it contracts like
Oh, wow.
this.
Yeah.
And 27% is where I was at. They put me in a life vest,
Mhm.
which was the most
Wow.
miserable 3 months of my
I
life.
can imagine.
I couldn't sleep with Jillian. I couldn't sleep near Jillian. I couldn't. Oh, and not to mention the 10 days that they kept me to get rid of the sepsis. That just she was beside herself. I mean, we've been together every moment of our lives since she was born.
Yeah.
And
all of a sudden now she couldn't be
not even
really near you.
Yeah. I mean, she could sit next to me.
Yeah, but
you know, we're cuddle buddies.
Yeah.
And so there was this vest that they made me wear, which another piece of anxiety comes in, because this defibrillator, apparently if something went wrong with your heart, it was going to shock you,
Right.
you know, and which is the whole
Right,
reason why
right.
I didn't sleep in the same bed with Adam, because God forbid
Right.
he put his arm around me and we fell asleep
Yeah.
and something happened to my heart. It would shock him as well.
Right.
It hurt him
Right.
and hurt her.
Right.
You know, so I slept in the spare room for 3 months. But the anxiety part was even to take a shower.
Yeah.
I had to take that thing off.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, okay, the quickest shower possible.
Right, because you're afraid.
God forbid something happened while I was in the shower.
Of course, it'll happen right when
Of
you're in the
course.
shower and you don't have it on. That's
Yes.
always.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was a whole, a whole
Wow.
show there. But I mean, I'm back to. I mean, I'll always have what they call they call it congestive heart failure.
Yeah. So you'll always have.
I'll always have congestive heart failure. But
and you have to like alert people that you have that, like if you were to ever go into the hospital.
you're supposed to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
You know.
you better.
I know. And so I'll always have that, but I'm at between 45 and 50%.
Okay.
Which is there are people walking out there that don't even know that they're 45,
Right.
50%.
Right.
So, I mean,
No,
I'm
you're good.
getting there.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to getting healthier.
Yeah.
Lungs. I mean, you know, I'm sporting 200 pounds. That can't be a good thing for your heart. You know?
Wow.
But you know, working on it. Aren't we all?
We're all working on something. We're all working on a lot. I
This
feel
is
like I'm
true.
always working on a lot of things. I have a lot of things like
Oh yeah.
in
It's
the
like
air.
It's like a spiral.
Yeah. Yeah. Just all the things. But you have to try to balance all the things. That's the tricky
And
part.
I forget that I went through that sometimes.
Mhm.
It's almost like your body, we were talking about the other day, actually, at Christmas. Bullet story. That, you know, your body almost like takes trauma and puts a box around it.
Mhm.
Like, we're not gonna talk about Have you seen it in Kanto yet?
No.
I can't remember the brother's name. Bruno. So the whole like theory, they don't talk about this brother. So they was like, we don't talk about Bruno. So I'm like, we don't talk about CHF. You know, it's almost like the
I
trauma
like it.
is like put into a box and you
Yeah.
don't
And you don't talk about
you don't
it.
think about it or
Right.
talk about it until you have a conversation.
Right.
And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I did go through that.
Yeah.
Crap. You know, and I think it's the same thing with any trauma.
I think that's why it's important to have these conversations though,
Yes.
about our traumas.
100%.
So many different traumas.
Mhm.
Like,
Because if you forget to open the box again, then you might just open yourself up to doing the same thing again.
right, which
You know,
causes
like-
the same result.
Right. And the only reason why I ended up with pneumonia is because I wasn't paying attention to me.
Right. And
It was,
moms,
yes.
got to pay attention. You have to put that
have to.
oxygen mask on in the airplane
First,
That's, they always tell you that, right?
right?
First,
So
because
so
you
can
can't
take care of everybody.
put it on
else.
anybody else next to you if you're not breathing to do that. So we can't take care of our
And
own.
I do remind myself
Mhm.
if I'm not feeling well, like it's a trigger.
Yep.
If I don't feel very well, I'm on it. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
And you know, dust,
Oh,
all the things, laundry will still be there when you're done resting. Like I've learned a lot since 2020 taught me a lot. Like,
and guess what? Like, sidebar.
Yeah.
The school continued to operate when I wasn't there.
right.
You know what I mean? Like we,
No, yeah.
as moms, we think, oh,
We
the
think
world
the world's
was
going
just
to
gonna-
end.
Yeah,
It's going to end.
yeah.
Because we can't do whatever it is that
We think we should.
we
There's
we
the should.
There's the should. Don't should yourself. Yeah. But it will be there. And like I've learned to really listen to myself. And as I get older, as I get more seasoned, I do. I'm like, you know what? I gotta lay down for 30 minutes.
Yep.
Even if it's 10 minutes.
Yep.
Because I don't have the energy to finish that load of laundry that I'm folding or to hang out with the kids whenever I was part-time working and I'd be here and the kids would be at school. An hour before I went to pick them up, I made sure I laid down. I took probably a 30-minute nap.
Yep.
So that when they got home, I'd have the energy.
fully into it.
Yeah, because
know?
I wanted to be with them.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so the not feeling good enough.
Oh, that's a life thread though, I think. And I know a lot of people feel that way. I do.
Mhm.
And I think, boy, this is a loaded question.
What it was like feeling. Okay, so what areas do you not feel good enough? All of them.
But I think women are more susceptible to this because from the moment we are born, we're expected, there are the expectations. Not so much now.
It has changed a little.
It has changed a bit. It depends on the mindset of the parents and or the caretakers, you know. But I think from the moment you come out of the womb, there's an expectation,
Right.
you know, and okay, so this is going to sound really cocky, but it's not. It's not. It's really not. I think it's a reflection. Number one is reflection, and I think it's an understanding that, you know, I am okay. Okay, but I fight that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Every day I have to tell myself I'm okay.
Yeah.
But when I look back, not while I lived it, because while we're living it,
oh yeah.
it's
No,
a
when you're
whole
in
other-
it, you can't see the
No.
things you really need to see.
no,
Right.
anything I've ever done or tried, I've always done well. And it's not, I think a lot of it may have been the drive from feeling like you're not good enough that kind of gave you that
to do better.
right. And I'm not saying I never failed in anything, because I have failed,
Yeah, haven't we all?
but I always learned from it and then picked up. And
That's
I
the key,
didn't realize I did that. Yeah, but that's a key, but I didn't know I did that.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was living this this, and by no means was this anything that was brought upon me in my, my youth. I think my dad's expectations of me were very high. Like if I didn't know how to do something on a car or know how to fix something, it was always, and it was always, why don't you know how to do that? Well, because you didn't teach me yet.
Right.
But he lived on a farm. So it was like, from the moment you came out, you popped out working.
Right. You're working
right
on that farm.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he had this mindset of, you already know it.
The sun comes up, so sun goes
yes,
down.
yes. And which actually is a good work.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? Ethic.
Yeah.
Like having a really good work ethic, which was passed on. But now that I'm older, seasoned, I look back at it and I go, I don't know why you don't feel good, like you're good enough. There's no reason, like literally no reason for me to feel this way.
Right.
None.
Right.
Because everything I have tried, I've either learned from the mistake and then came back and ended up either falling again and trying again. But I've always ultimately done fairly well. Like, but why do we have this? Why? I mean,
I think society too.
Not that you have all the answers.
No, I wish. Give me all the answers. That'd be nice. I think it's society too. Like, you see, especially nowadays, maybe not when we were growing up so much because we didn't have all the social media. Thank God. Oh my gosh. I am so glad that we didn't grow up with all that, because it was bad enough that we would see it in the magazines and, the people in our life that we thought was perfect.
Oh,
and you strived to be like maybe how they were, but you're not. And guess what?
They aren't.
They're not perfect.
No
one is.
I learned that probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And because some people that I looked up to and I thought had it all together. I'm like, why can't I pull that off? Why am I not all together? And, I went back, somehow reconnected with this whole little group. And they're not all together.
They're not.
They knew, and they weren't at the time either.
Right.
And that's something growing up, I think we as children, all children, they have a preconceived perception.
Yeah.
Like they, in their own mind, have this perception of who this person is, when in reality, there's a whole multiple level that's not working. They may be feeling the same way that I did. I mean, growing and I've also recently found out that growing up, some people thought that I was snobby.
People thought I was too when I knew this back then. Though.
Oh, you did?
I knew they thought I was a snob when I was like, I was in 6th grade and they thought I was a snob, but I was very quiet and sensitive and I kept to myself, except for when I was with my group of friends.
Yeah.
But if you weren't in that friend group, I was a snob.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. I was very, very shy.
Probably self-conscious.
And that's
where my
self-conscious.
That's where I think my perception came from, because I was very self-conscious, like every move I made.
And when you don't have that confidence.
Oh no, I had none. It didn't come across that way though.
Right. But oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, I cried when I found that out. I mean, I bawled because I was the furthest thing from that.
Yeah.
I was just, it was very weird. Yeah, because at my 10-year reunion, they or 20, and my 10 year was when Adam and I re-met. Our 20th is the one that I actually planned the shebang.
Yeah.
And I was voted most changed.
Wow.
Which really,
you didn't feel like you were most changed.
No.
It
kind of bothered me.
So what did they think changed? So you were a snob, but now you're not a snob? Is that what they?
I think because I was so, like, I ran the whole, like, you gotta understand, this reunion thing was put together in like 2.5 seconds. Wow. And me being me and my you know, my head, you know, I had everything planned,
Right.
but I didn't have enough resources, or so I thought at the time, because of the timing. I literally ran the whole night,
Yeah.
you know, or the day before, because I tend to have things in my head, but I can't express them to other
Right.
people.
Right.
So sometimes it's hard to delegate for me,
Right.
because this is going,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to explain to somebody and they're like, dude, you're starting in the middle.
And you feel like it's almost
easier
to do it yourself than try to
Yes.
explain. It takes longer.
Yes.
To do
So,
that. Yeah.
you know, so here's this person that apparently some people thought was like, and I mean, I'm out there cracking jokes, asking questions, and then here, have a drink, here, have a shot. Then we were playing this game, and then, you know, and I've got the microphone, I'm leading everything along, and I think that seeing me not so self-conscious was what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Because I wasn't. I really didn't care.
Right.
At that point, I did not care.
But
And-
back then, that
but
was
back then.
seen as, because if you don't have the confidence
None.
and you're self-conscious,
None.
and so therefore you go inward, and then that makes you a snob.
Yeah.
Which not really makes you a snob. That's
No,
what
but
people
that's what
think.
people think.
Yeah. I can relate to that. Yeah. Even now, if I don't know you, and and maybe that's like Ray and I are good together in that way, because he's very outgoing. Doesn't matter if he knows people or not. And like, so when we go somewhere together, I kind of just like fall behind him and then like I'll start opening up. But for me to go by myself, I'm like, whoop, I go back to that
You
sixth
go back and-
grade
yeah.
girl.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be here.
There are many times where I go back to that that little girl that was just who
It's
was
scary.
Number one, from Oak Hill. Number two, we didn't have much until I was about 9.
Yeah.
So, you know, here I am at home with my mother scraping off. She bought one pair of Keds, scraped off the
Oh yeah.
the
Put
blue
on another
piece.
pair.
She'd buy what we used to call Bobos.
Yes, the
from
Bobos from
and then
Walmart or
she would-
Payless. Yeah.
And then she glued the blue piece on the back of it. Guess jeans. Somebody gave her a pair of Guess jeans. She took my jeans, cut like one little
Oh, yeah,
freaking
stitch,
thing at a
stitch, stitch,
time
yep.
and restitched
Yep.
it to the. It was
Mhm.
like,
And
I don't think anybody knew that.
Yeah, but you know what? Thinking back, now that we're more seasoned,
Right.
and like even with my kids, like I'm like, it's just a brand. Like, and I remember having a kids, someone steps on the back of your foot, and the
And the
little
flippy flopped off,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's like, and now I'm thinking, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you paid for that little blue thing.
I mean,
In the grand scheme of life, though, like,
it seems so important at the time.
right, it does. But then when you grow up and you become seasoned,
Right.
you're like, wow,
I'd rather live
Why
in the
did
middle
that
of the country
matter?
with a
me
flipping
too.
potato sack. You know, like,
Yep.
but that's,
I mean, I do like nice things.
oh, of course. Who
I
doesn't?
love nice things.
Who
I can't
doesn't?
always afford all the nice things. But what I can afford, I tried, and not because it looks good to whoever,
But it makes
because
you
it
feel
makes
good.
me feel good, and I like what I like, you know, like my husband, and he's like, oh, you got champagne taste in your pocketbook, and I'm like, well, I feel like I'm gonna, if I'm going to purchase this, I want it to last.
Yep.
So I'm gonna wait until I can afford to get the best, and that's not with everything, but certain things.
Right.
That way I have it, and I don't have to keep replacing it, because if I have to keep replacing it, it's just costing me more money in the long run.
Right.
So anyway.
No, I agree.
Let's see, what else? Okay. Raising a child to have empathy and feeling that you might be, how are you going to be setting her up for heartbreak?
Oh,
I didn't understand that part. Oh,
sorry.
it's okay. This is real.
I wear my heart on my sleeve. More so now. When I was younger, I was this. I was a walking heart. I was always very empathetic, very
Sympathetic one, and the
Yes.
sensitive one.
sensitive.
Yes.
I always cared about others. I always cared about what if whatever I'm doing is going to affect somebody, is that going to hurt them? Always thought about other people's feelings. Always thought about more so than my own. And Jillian's the same way. And it fills my heart because we need more of it.
Yeah.
If we could sprinkle the world with a little bit of with empathy, just across the board. I think empathy is the key. I think that's the key to everything. Everything.
Yeah.
But I've taught her how to love and appreciate and be empathetic, and I mean it comes to her naturally. Also, you have an example of something, you're going to probably live by that.
Yeah. They tend to not always do what you say. They do what you're doing. They,
yes.
is it
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got my heart broken a lot.
I feel like this is why I feel very close to you a lot, because I'm the same. Like I wear my heart on my sleeve, on my ever since.
This is
and
it.
I got heartbroken
1,000 times with friends, with teachers.
Yeah. Even still.
Still, of course. Less. A lot less.
Yeah.
Because
you don't.
I
don't have those.
I know now. And I didn't mean to overpower you, but I know now, and this is what I'm trying to teach Jillian.
Yeah.
And this is where the whole setting her up for heartbreak thing is. I'm trying to teach her empathy and kindness and love and caring and appreciation, but also give her, which I didn't have. I didn't get any tools with it. Like I was born in this way, and I was loved this way, and I was taught this.
Yeah.
But I think with a different generation didn't come with the tools.
Right.
But because I know it and see it now, I want to give her the tools and let her understand that not everybody's the same. And again, I can tell you, I've probably told her 20,000 times, you can only control yourself,
right?
Your actions and your reactions. You can't, and it's not always your fault that somebody doesn't feel the same way.
Right.
That, for me, when I was younger, really hard.
Yeah.
Really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
Like, what did I do wrong?
Right.
And I think maybe that's where my insecurities come from.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily what you did wrong.
Right.
It's something within them.
Yeah.
As to why.
Yeah. And I didn't see that when I was younger. I see it now. And I think actually going through what I went through, it just changed me.
Yeah.
With the whole birth loss. In 1 year, I had Jillian, became a mom. I lost my dad. I lost my 3 dogs that were my babies.
Yeah.
And my best friend, myself.
It's a lot in a year's time.
Within like a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
But for a lifetime,
it was all,
that's a lot, but I can't even imagine.
And it was like, it all shaped this, all this crap doesn't matter. And then like this other little part, I'm going there. Another little part of your brain goes, and you're like, oh my God, it's not all my fault.
Right. You came to that realization.
I loved my best friend. I couldn't control the fact that he did what he did. Loved my father. I couldn't control the fact that he ended up with chronic hepatitis C, and that, because of the hemophilia, none of that I could control, none of it.
No.
So I just had to live through it. And I think that made me a little bit wiser.
Yeah, and it gave you the tools that you can now give
hopefully
to
I can
your
pass
daughter.
them. I'm hoping, I'm trying to pass on those tools to her, because
well, and I think
being such an empathetic, caring person,
Yeah.
you know, I sit next to somebody and all of a sudden it's like, I have their feelings,
Mhm.
you know, but now, at least now I can kind of put a little shield up
Yeah.
and go, and I think to myself, can I help?
Yeah.
When before it was, I would take it on in myself,
Mhm.
feel it, and go,
Yes.
I just want to help you,
Uh-huh.
you know, like, and then they might not accept the help.
Right.
And then I'm going, well, what did I do wrong?
What did you wrong? Yep.
Was I too aggressive? Was I not enough? Was I not, you know, I think that comes.
Yeah. Girl.
But you know what I mean? Like when certain things happen in your life, little parts of you
Yeah.
go,
Absolutely.
woo, and then you're like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
And then something else happens and this side
Yeah.
opens up, you know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can see more instead of shoving, like, right, this is a whole other freaking ball of wax. In generations in the past, I think, this is my opinion.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm not a,
Yeah.
I'm not a certified doctor, but
Yeah.
I think in the past generations, it's been suck it up,
Or
keep your head down, man the
I
up.
can't. I don't like.
I know,
Yeah. Anyway. Yep.
but it's been that way, and I think that's what got us through. Of course, the wars, the Second World War, the blah
Right.
blah blah. But
Right.
and we were groomed to be the tough, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
as women, we had back then had to look feminine, had to take care of everything, but also man up,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm hoping now, maybe with the, you know, as the years go by, we can learn that, yeah, sometimes we have to just suck it up, and I get that.
Yeah.
But we don't have to man up wearing heels and cooking a meal.
Right. I think you have to do the best that you can do.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay.
I hope
It has to be okay. I mean, as long as you are not out there causing harm to people and you're doing your absolute best, you know what? Sometimes you don't have your absolute best to give.
No.
And that's when you need to lay down and
Right.
take a nap,
Reset so that you
Or
can,
take
you know.
take a day off, or whatever it is, you know, pray. I mean, you've got to, your best has to be good enough.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I mean, it's hard seeing yourself in your kids sometimes too.
mhm.
You know, because now that we're, I think as a younger parent, because we were, with Josh and Jordan, we were the younger end, right, of the parents, because Josh was born in 97, right after 96,
Wow.
which is when graduated.
Right.
So right out the gate, they were the younger parents.
Right.
Well, on this trip,
Yeah.
we're the older end of the
Right.
parents. So I think having the second trip around gives you also another thing to look back at.
Right.
Not that you
Yeah.
did it wrong.
No,
You just
but
did it differently.
But you can do it better because you know, just from growing up, you know things
Right.
from going through life.
Right.
So you guys know things from
But
going
it's
through
better,
the first.
and this is random, but is better really a thing?
Better, really a thing.
Differently. Or different
Differently.
for a different result.
Yeah. I guess when I guess when I guess when I
hate the
think
word better because that's like
better than
not
like
enough.
you're not, yeah.
you need to be better.
I guess
You're not
I'm
enough.
thinking more of the because I've always I really disliked the practice makes perfect. So I always said the practice makes better.
Yes.
So maybe that's where
I use that
better,
too.
but I
use it
totally
too.
get what
I know,
you're
I just-
saying there,
but,
though. I
yeah.
totally get it. I can't get enough to be good enough. It's good enough.
That's a whole other.
It's
That's a
good
whole-
enough.
That's a whole other show, ladies and
It's a
gentlemen.
whole other show. Let's
Wow, we've gone
I know,
up, down,
I'm
around, backwards, forwards.
everywhere. It's okay, but we covered, I think, all of those topics.
I think we did, which is amazing.
awesome. Okay, so I just want to end this podcast with
in general.
and
You just want to end
I
it.
just want to, no, I want to end it with a question to
Oh
you.
boy.
And it doesn't have to be anything big, it can be small, whatever. But because it truly takes a village, and we know that, and I'm hoping all of you know that. As a seasoned mama, can you offer up any advice for our listeners? Moms, dads, anybody, families? Because I'm here to I want to help empower these
Two
families.
things come to mind.
Okay.
Two. First thing is, and I think as younger parents, we don't see it this way.
Okay.
We don't see that it takes a village. And we don't
When you're younger, as a
yeah.
parent. Right.
And
right.
I think a lot is put on you to be the sole caretaker, sole, everything.
Yeah. Cook, housekeeper,
Everything.
all the
You
things.
have to, I think you have to find balance.
Mhm.
For instance, we have one Chick-fil-A night.
Mhm.
Usually it's when cheerleading.
Yeah.
But I had to do that
No,
because
yeah.
I'm not going to go home and cook and then come
No.
back and get her.
That's
I want to see her. I want to see her
Yeah.
enjoy it. You know what
I
I mean?
have whatever Wednesdays for that reason.
Yeah.
Whatever you can get without me
Right.
having to help do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that all is funneling to let the people you can trust and the people that love you, let them help.
Yeah.
Okay. Let them help, because I have a hard time letting people help.
And that's a control thing on our
It
end,
is.
letting them help. My husband and I get in arguments about this because I'm very OCD and I don't like to let him help because of that control OCD part of my being,
Mhm.
because it won't be good enough for my OCD self.
Right. To fit your expectations of how it should be
Right.
done.
But why, like he says,
Mhm.
why does it matter how he does it
As it gets done.
as long as it gets done?
Great.
I know it's very hard.
I love you.
And I do, the smart part of me agrees with that, but the OCD part of me, oh man. Anyway, so what's your
I
second
agree.
thing?
Second thing is something that I've said quite a few times, but it's changed my life. Changed my life. Is you can only control your actions and your reactions. And if you're listening, and I know this is Mrs. West is giving you a little bit of a homework.
Homework. I like homework. This kind of homework.
Write it down if you can, if you want to. I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
But you can even put it on your mirror. Like I did that for the
Post-it
longest time.
note, or
Yes,
or write
totally.
it with a, one of those markers.
And you're gonna find, and what I found out is it comes up more than you would think it would.
Mhm.
Where saying that to yourself makes things okay. Makes it okay to let that person be with themselves, or
Mhm.
let that situation play itself out with you by the sidelines. Because a lot of times we're right.
Try to insert ourselves in there.
Yeah. When you know what?
So bad at that.
I know, right? And that has helped me a lot. Like, I cannot control this, but in the back of my head, because of the person I am, can I help? Can I help? Can I help? Can I help? And I've had to back off of that because that's an action that I can control. I can control my helpful.
Right. And
Because that's just how I am.
Yeah.
I'm literally, my brain does not stop. It's 24/7. And then, literally something I heard 2 days ago that someone's struggling with, or could be the simplest thing.
Yeah.
But literally something that happened 2 days ago, and my brain in its whirlwind, it pops up and ding, there's the answer.
Yeah.
And then now I have the answer, but do I
What do
want
you
to
do with that?
impose my answer?
Right.
Do I want to tell them?
Unsolicited answer?
Yes. And I still struggle with that. And it's not that I always think I'm right,
No.
because I know I'm not. I'm
And-
not.
Advice, and
Yeah.
that is hard, like unsolicited. I guess it depends on closeness with the person.
Sometimes, somebody takes over. I'm going to tell you anyway.
I'm gonna tell you anyway.
And then I'll go into like this whole spiel, like, I'm sorry if I went overboard, but I didn't mean to go overboard, but I think I should say it out loud. And you know what I'm talking about? Like, and I just go on this ramble of like, but I think you should know.
Yeah.
So just so you know, and
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
and then, but then again, now I'm apologizing for myself.
And I don't think there's the should. I don't think we should apologize
No.
for being ourselves and for wanting to help.
It's true. But
So,
really, society in a whole, wanting to help is not on the norm.
no.
Because everybody, especially after 2020 and COVID, everybody's on their own track.
Yeah.
I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. We might be side by side, but we
Right.
don't,
Right.
Anyways,
No,
we
I
could
get you.
go on and on forever.
Yep. So we are going to, that was great advice, by the way. I like it. Because we're seasoned. We're seasoned on this year.
Did you see these? This is this right here. That's seasoning, girl.
Do you have the crow's feet? I have crow's feet. All right. So we are going to peace out.
Oh,
yeah.
And I may be wrong, and I could say this, and it means a totally other thing.
Uh-oh.
Deuces. I got such a kick out of it. When I saw that, I was like, we used to say like peace out, whatever.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody go deuces. And I was like, oh God, I hope that means.
Hopefully that means.
I hope that means what it means.
If it means something else, we didn't mean that.
It's like I'm going poopy. Or you know what I mean?
Love her. Thank
And
you.
it's not a gambling.
No. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad. Like, this is the first time she's been at my house. I have to have you over for fun.
I know. You at our house as well.
Yes. Nice. All right. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and we are going to be out of here.
But the hurricane is over.